how are your veggies looking? And they're like, hello my honeys, it's Emmy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmy. I'm a nutritionist and I'm the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me along with your nutrition coach and your mindset coach so that you can lose weight on a starch-based, plant-based diet. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the link in the down bar or just go to healthyemmy.org and you can apply to work with me and my team. Also make sure that you hit subscribe, you turn on the notification bell, because your girl uploads a new video every Wednesday and Catterday, not Saturday, it's Catterday around here. So make sure that you hit subscribe so that you can join in on all of the fun. In today's video, I'm sharing with you my top 5 tips for the starch-based diet, especially if you're just getting started. Now, even if you're not just getting started, I think that you're gonna find massive benefit from this video, because you don't know what you don't know, and you might end up learning something that you probably could use moving forward and is gonna benefit you in your starch-based journey. So let's go ahead and get into my top 5 tips for beginners. Tip number 1 is to keep it simple. When people are starting out on this diet, it's understandably very easy to get overwhelmed. And if you're just getting started, you might feel this overwhelm because you're coming to YouTube, you're going to the podcast, you're reading the books, you're reading the Starch Solution, you're watching people like me on YouTube, and you're getting all of this information, and it's information overload, which leads to analysis paralysis and 2 of my favorite terms, which are getting lost in the sauce and majoring in minor things. You see all these people, a lot of the information is conflicting. This person says to do this person says to do that, this person says don't eat this, don't eat that, and it's very overwhelming and you just don't know what to do. I understand that overwhelm, and I want you to just keep it simple. So my tip number 1 is to keep it simple. Remember, you came to this diet because you were done with all of the other crash diets. You were done with making everything so complicated with the points and the macros and the tracking and all of that craziness. You want to come to this diet because it's simple. So let it be simple. Eat your starches, which are your potatoes, rice, beans, oats, corn, quinoa, your vegetables, your fruits, and your legumes. Simple, whole foods. Don't overcomplicate it. It doesn't have to be complicated. I am like the queen of simplicity. That is why I love this lifestyle so much, because you can embrace the simplicity of the diet and not have to be thinking about food all the time, planning out your meals, all of these crazy recipes. The last time I made a recipe was when I was like 22 and blonde, and I'm 25 and brunette now. I don't make recipes. They take way too much time. All of these ingredients, I mean, the YouTubers that are making these crazy recipes, so much respect for you guys, so much respect. I just want my potatoes and my veggies and my oatmeal, and like, I'm good. I don't need all those crazy recipes. So if you want to do it, go for it. But I want you to embrace simplicity, eat these whole natural foods. Don't worry about all of the craziness. Don't worry about the protein and the micronutrients and the vitamins and the minerals. Just eat simple food. Embrace whole natural foods and promise yourself that you'll at least just start there. At least just start with embracing the simplicity. Tip number 2 is to realize that the important thing isn't so much what you are eating, but more so what you're not eating. I speak with a lot of people who will say, Emmy, I am eating an A+ diet. I have my oats, I have my veggies, I have my rice, my beans, my corn, my potatoes. I'm killing it. You should see the meals that I make. And they're not lying, because they're making fantastic meals. They'll have their veggies and their potatoes, and they'll have their beans, no oil, no added sugar, all of that. And then a little bit later on, they're having a peanut butter sandwich, or they're having a little bit of ice cream, or they're having something else. And so yes, they are eating a lot of starch and a lot of veggies and all of that great stuff, but there's other stuff that's coming along with it. And it's very easy to forget that you're eating that other stuff. Humans have something called meal amnesia. It's a survival mechanism that humans have, and it is built into our primal instincts to make sure that we don't starve to death. So what is it exactly? Well, it's that we forget what we eat. So the handful of chips that you have, or when there's a little bit of food on your kid's plate and you're just eating what's left over, or if the kids get pizza and there's one slice left and you're like, oh, I'll just have it. Or if you're making your kids a peanut butter sandwich and then you're licking the peanut butter. I see you licking the peanut butter off of the knife. That's like 200 calories right there. It's the things that are sneaking in that you are neglecting purposefully, or you're just simply forgetting about it. So this is why I have my clients are taking pictures of everything that they're eating. And again, click the link in the down bar if you're interested in becoming a client of mine. But my clients take pictures of everything that goes in their mouth, and I say, everything that goes into your mouth we want to see. So if you're just having a handful of this there, or you stop at the bank and there's the little Milky Ways and you grab one of those Milky Ways, I want to see it. I want to see it all, baby. And once they start taking pictures, they go, oh, okay, so yeah, I am eating things that aren't part of the starch-based diet. I am. Tip number 3 is eat yo veggies, honey. Again, I speak to a ton of people that are killing the starch game. I mean, honestly, they got my Hawaiian sweet potatoes. You guys know how much I love my Hawaiian sweet potatoes. They're like, Emmy, I ordered your sweet potatoes. Like, I got it. I'm eating oatmeal every morning. I'm eating tons of potatoes. I got the air fryer. I'm doing the potato fries. And I go, so how are your veggies looking? And they're like, veggie neglect is what we should call it. Justice for veggies. People will kill it on the starch. And that is so important to have the starch in there. But we cannot neglect vegetables, because vegetables are so low in caloric density that they can really bulk up our meals. And we can eat a lot of food and not take in that many calories. And it's so important that at every single meal you're getting those veggies in. Do not neglect the veggies. Tip number 4 is don't count your calories. Please, please, please save that precious real estate in your brain for other things. Something that I say to clients that are struggling is a 6th grader, a 4th grader, a 3rd grader can count calories. 60 calories plus 220 calories, now that's 280 calories. That is the expertise level of a 4th grader. You are smarter than a 4th grader. You have so much more to give than simple arithmetic that a 10-year-old can do. Please do not waste your precious brain and energy counting calories. That's probably one of the reasons why you came to this diet, is because there's truly not a need to count calories, and there isn't. And counting calories, I mean, this should be a whole separate video of mine, is such a waste of energy, because most of the time it's wildly inaccurate. Even if you are weighing and measuring your food, your calorie count is probably still inaccurate, because the calorie counts that you're basing them off of are inaccurate in the first place. There is a 20% margin of error that the FDA allows on calorie counts. So if something is labeled as 100 calories, it could really be 120 calories, or it could be 80 calories. And we don't know the true calorie count, because the FDA says it's fine if you're off by 20% on a 2,000 calorie diet. That's 200 calories, give or take. So even if you're weighing and measuring your food down to the gram, your calorie count is probably still wrong. So don't waste your energy on it. When you come to this lifestyle, you don't have to count calories. And we want you to tune into your internal cues of hunger and fullness to determine how much you're going to eat, as opposed to the external cues of perhaps what time it is or how many calories something has. And speaking of those internal cues, this brings me into my next tip. My My next tip is to recognize that hunger and fullness cues still count. A lot of people come to this lifestyle because they love the fact that you don't have to restrict anymore and that you can eat a lot of food. So I noticed that a lot of my clients come to this lifestyle and they're struggling with binge eating, or they're coming off of restrictive dieting and they're really excited to not restrict anymore. A lot of people will abuse this diet and use it to eat massive quantities, and then they're still struggling. If you are struggling with something such as overeating or binge eating, it's important to recognize that just changing what's on your plate is not enough. And changing the food does a heck of a lot, and it really helps, but it's not the whole picture here. Food, no matter what the substance is, no matter what the food is, people can still abuse it to use it as a self-soothing mechanism. And it's important for us to find other ways for you to cope with stress and emotional distress and your emotional needs, as opposed to abusing food. Your hunger and your fullness cues still count no matter what it is that you're eating. And if this is something that you're struggling with, this is why in my program we have Hunger and Fullness 101. We relearn our hunger and our fullness cues because a lot of people have dulled the ability to read their hunger and their fullness cues from all of these years of dieting. So if you find that you fall into that category where you're having some trouble reading your hunger and fullness cues, hi, I'm Emmy. That's what I do. I would love to help you with this. Click the link in the down bar, healthyemmy.org. Let's do it. But recognize that it is still important to hone into your hunger and fullness cues. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I love you to death, and I'll see you in my next one. Woo!